top matchup. We have Nuguri, maybe not for game one, but in terms of the stats, this is what we have prepared because this was the expected matchup.
Absolutely. Forward percentage #1 in the LCK, something that has come back to bite him a little bit in some of the laning games, but he's been a very impressive laner, even on tank champions, and I think that's really the big standout here. So because we do have Birdall starting tonight, the expectation is maybe we'll see a shift in terms of the drafting here. But the man on the other side of the rift really needs no introduction. He is the solo kill machine here, third in KDA because his team is actually sitting down at the lower part of the playoff bracket. But in terms of what this guy has done in the lane, no one is coming even close.
Yeah, nobody's subbing out Rascal, that's for sure. Nobody's going to take his spot because he is one incredibly important piece of the puzzle here for KT.
Look at these solo kill stats across the last 2 years of professional play. First, just 20 plus. Every time. And of course, going into the next matchup here, we're talking about and Canyon versus Aiming, right? In terms of individual players and their performances, not a matchup on the Rift. Canyon has been the carry for Dom1K. He's played so many different champions this season. He has an extremely wide pool. His kill participation and his damage share are going to be incredibly high. He has #1 damage share on all junglers across the league because of his Karthus play, but also because he's been so involved in late-game team fights for them. Has often been the engaged tool that Dom1 needs to be the one who's setting up Deokdam in these critical moments. But Aiming on the other side, he's just got the #1 damage share for 80 carries in an 80 carry meta.
Yeah, it's a really crazy thing that Aiming has done. Much of the way of Prince, just that Aiming's kind of been here for a little bit longer with this team. And yeah, really stepping it up this season when they needed it most. A lot of teams that haven't had strong carry performances from their 80 carries have struggled a little bit, including Dom1, which is a team that we expected with Deokdam and Kellen coming into the bottom lane to only get stronger.
KT Rolster have had better dragon control and better prio control, which is something you won't see on this graph in terms of lanes, especially on 12-14. So the expectation is
저희가 한타 구도 잡는 거에 대해서 사실 아직 팀 커뮤니케이션이 안 되는 부분이 많았었는데 그 부분을 좀 중점적으로 준비하려고 했어요. 그래서 좋은 결과 있었으면 좋겠습니다. 에이밍 선수 너무 잘하더라고요. 그래서 그리고 빅나 선수도 콜업된 선수인데도 불구하고 되게 잘해주고 있는 것 같아서 확실히 많이 경계되고 있습니다. 확실히 한타, 그러니까 버돌 선수를 기용한 이유 중 제일 큰 건 용한타 같은 걸 훨씬 더 좀 저희가 필요한 콜들을 잘 메꿔주는 것 같아서 기용하게 됐습니다. 올해 내내 젠지 T1을 이겨본 적이 없어서 꼭 가서 이기는 모습을 보여드리고 싶습니다.
네, 일단 1차적인 목표로 제가 미디어데이 때 프로에 진출해야 다음이 있다고 이야기를 했었는데 굉장히 다행이라고 생각하고 이제 다음 목표를 향해 좀 잘 해야 될 것 같습니다. 빅나 선수 성향상 뭐 긴장을 크게 한다던가 이런 건 없고 자신감도 넘쳐서 다른 선수들이 베테랑 선수들이 많기 때문에 잘 잡아 줄 거라고 생각하고 있습니다. 상대팀 탑도 교체됐던데 또 거기에 따른 저희도 생각해둔 방향이 있어서 거기에 잘 대응하면 될 것 같습니다. 이제 맨날 선수들한테 좀 강조했던 게 실전은 연습처럼 연습은 실전처럼이라고 했는데 오늘도 연습이라 생각하고 부담감 안 가지고 잘 임했으면 좋겠습니다. 네, 오늘 경기 반드시 이길 수 있도록 최선을 다해서
hasn't been as impactful, and we're looking at a perfect 9 wins on Aphelios for Aiming, so you don't even get to say you're the best Aphelios player on the Rift tonight. Stats here fairly close for these. List we saw yesterday, he tried for heroic attempt. Vikla.
Oh boy. Chains are going to land. Vikla is so dead, and that's going to be
We were just seeing not Enchanter supports. Then it was like, oh, okay, Enchanter's something else. Vikla might be dead again.
He did see this one coming. He's still not going to take a great trade. Electrocute proc does come in. he was backed up in the lane because he saw Canyon from there, as Cuz is going to look to set this one up. Might be able to force a clone out, but no, Canyon's just going forward. Has the mid laner Showmaker coming on over as now Cuz is on the run. And it looks like
this is a lane we haven't really looked at too much. And the reason is because Birdo isn't doing much on this Renekton. And it's not a good sign usually. Here we go though, level 6.
Hey, you sparked it out as the Dominus is used, but Rascal is still going in there. He has Ignite, and he's always going to get the advantage in these trades because of that. As the Ignite does come out, he's not...
Side objective, not so much this time around.
Showmaker coming on over. Rascal kind of being left alone as Cuz is desperately trying to kill a big Raptor as in goes the Polymorph, and the timing is perfect. Canyon goes in and gets demolished.
That was so beautifully played from Cuz. Meanwhile,
aiming. He's barely going to live. That bottom lane totally dominated by DK at the moment.
Here, but the fight just doesn't actually occur because KT have better control of this choke point, and they have that Emperor's Divide. As this is Canyon taking the trade, which leads him to go down low when Cuz executes, of course, with the all-in.
Look at the timing of the Polymorph. It's right as Canyon goes in, and then he can't get out. He had Flash, he had Smite, he had Waze, right? It's just the positioning over this Drake right now, although aiming is really not sure about that one. Let's try to erase that from the internet, shall we? As he's like, yeah, I'm Zeri, I could just get over the wall. Did not expect every single member of DK to be there, especially the CC coming in. And now this Rift Herald is, yes, it will get a charge. So that money will go over to Cuz, but none to Vikla.
And the point of the Rift...
As we'll take another look at this pick, it's just no vision, and aiming's like, yeah, let me just, I'm full health, but I'm going to take the plants?
Yeah.
And then he's like, yeah, I could probably get out. I'll just say goodbye. It's okay, it's going to be a nice amount of... Oh my god, where did he go? This Deokdam just finds the Zeri. Again, no flash used at the end of that trade, and he just dies.
Edge.
This is starting off really well for the side of Dominus. Here comes Canyon, finds a unique angle. That's a great Emperor's Divide, though. Hits them both.
That was so beautiful from Vikla. Doesn't have to flash. Still Emperor's Divide down now for Cyclone. Bit of a trade. Aiming is... Oh.
As, yep, see you later. Nice shield bow you got there. Would be a shame if I broke it. And he did. And that's another
like this, by the way. But if you do... Okay, Vikla.
The chains are going to land, and Vikla does have that shield on the dash. It will be just enough. But you can see that Showmaker's getting stronger by the minute. But every other lane got dunked on, and the spikes were hit.
This is from Kellen's perspective, setting up the tidal wave. Just that easy. And then the second time. Deokdam dashes over the wall, Gale forces forward. Prox is passive. He'll take the money. Gets a chance of taking a straight up 5v5. They're trying to bait it.
Okay, they are going to try to 100-0 him, and they will. Vikla will scoop the kill at the exact right moment.
You get a pick, though, and you get a free Drake. Will be at the cost of their turret, but KT will take anything they can to slow this game down right now. It's going to be an additional charge here on the Herald as well, which leads to inner turret gold. So still bad for KT, but they got one Drake out of this.
Third charge?
Okay.
And there is
Wukong and now more freely dive, and Zeri's farming becomes much more difficult. We've already talked about how difficult it is for it to farm. As this is Vikla and Life baiting Showmaker into a distortion and just instantly 100-0ing him. Rascal's in there in the corner, has his ult.
Getting leashed right now. He's got Canyon nearby. Does Showmaker, they're trying to burst him down. The Heartbreaker over the wall. Cuz still on the run. It's a massive tidal wave going to hit Cuz as well. He has eaten so much damage. Wild Growth as well is going to be used onto that Diego. As KT will just say, no
bottom turret, you know? I mean,
yeah.
There's nothing else on the map they could do or take.
It is risky, especially against LeBlanc, who's just going to be chipping away at you. We don't see a lot of sustain on the side of KT. There's no sustain. Enchanter, they only have the Lulu as Bertle looking for the play. He's going to get polymorphed and not quite able to be dunked on immediately because is getting on in there, getting those stacks for the Sejuani, but not going to be able to lock him down.
Showmaker. Just have to say his name.
Showmaker. Yeah, he's there.
He got the crown.
He got the crown. That's pretty big. As yep, that's the Lucian right now. Only has 1,000 damage so far. He will have a lot more. Yeah. KT are really making a big
Showmaker's got. He's playing with vision so well. They don't know.
They don't know about this, and look at that wombo combo. Immediately, the Sejuani is going to eat all of the damage, and they kill the clone. That's all that KT got. They got the Wukong clone. And that's, you know, going to be the Sejuani down. This is generally what happens to the Sejuani when she's kind of all alone as the tank.
It's so beautiful to see Showmaker.
Of course, a LeBlanc, as Canyon is coming in. He just wanted to say hello and, you know, maybe give his life on the way. But he's just gonna
All right, that one was a joke. But, I mean, as KT here, the longer this goes, the more you posture, the more opportunities Aiming has to hit that poke. And that's the one thing they needed so desperately, was any sort of poke damage here from safety.
Okay, I mean, Canyon's going to force it. He's just going to get 100 to 0'd.
Now he's gone. He's completely out of this fight. No, you know, uses of his ultimate.
Look at the poke difference, too. I mean, Rascal goes way too deep, though, as over the wall goes Cuz. Rascal nearly dies as he got a bit.
He's sitting on only the Divine Sunder as Stopwatch picks up now. He's just instantly out of this, and yeah, he lives, but who cares? Kellen gets half health by one Zeri W.
Yeah, and, you know, nothing against Amy, but he said that Bertle coming in was for the shot calling, right? But this looks just like Strike Gold.
I mean, KT just annexed the Drake. That's mine.
Okay, well, they're going to go for a fight here. Let's see how it goes as Canyon gets in, and he does steal it. The golden smite button not quite there as a massive Aqua Prism catches the two frontliners. And Kia find a decent fight for them, but they're not getting over the wall here as Ingo's Vikla is going to scoop that Croc, but maybe not the one he wanted as he gets a little bit too overzealous there. Aiming is going to survive for now.
Vikla decides to go back in there. It's actually massive. He's down for 50 more seconds. That might actually be enough for Kia to end this.
Showmaker getting in. He's frontlining here for Deokdam, who is going to get the flash there out of Aiming as life is just being chased down. This is very sad. They're going to leave him alive, it looks like.
Yeah, to delay his death timer here. Yep. Which is, you know, the old Overwatch strat.
Oh yeah, feed it over to Showmaker.
There's no Showmaker flank on the top. They're absolutely aware of this. They know Bertle's on the other side, so they think, okay, we have enough damage to do this. It's taken away by Canyon, and then Bertle's trying to trap them in. The problem is Deokdam, he's very low range, but they're fighting on the left side of the Drake pit because of Bertle's flank, and so he can still do basically full damage here, despite being Lucian in this awkward Drake fight.
Okay, so Cuz is here trying to set up for a Baron steal. He's just going to die. Was here all alone, and Canyon's going to be the first one to check, and he's got to be the guy because he can clone back. Nicely done as the follow-up.
Tougher to blow him up, but he did it twice. That's a huge tool gone now defensively.
Yeah, Showmaker, he's still in there, being a huge menace as Deokdam nearly dies to Vikla. That is also the amount of
fights. The question.
Oh, there it is. The culling as Vikla is going to swish and hit only air with that one.
Which KT could let this go. And they had TP for Vikla, so pushing that top wave out, definitely a correct decision from him. But the rest of his team without vision, so slow to rotate over, using Extendo Beam to check. You can see the vision is so oppressive here, and means that choke point control absolutely going to be Kia's here. And Showmaker could just constantly tease. He could constantly threaten. And there's not much recourse here. Shooting blind on this Zeri. The poke damage doesn't matter if you can't see. He just keeps missing because he has no idea.
Just fishing. Just trying to get that vision. Vikla now bringing up the caboose of this train in the back there as they try to move in as a 5-man unit. But DK doing the right thing. They have the Renekton pushing mid, threatening the base, and putting a timer on KT.
Great shot calling here from Bertle, making the choice. Showmaker's coming up too. They're just going to say, all right, you guys can have the Elder. We'll take the game.
Yeah, they're not going to be able to back on this one, I don't think, as Deokdam is getting the culling. He nearly kills Vikla as the Wild Growth comes out, but look at the base. Down goes Vikla, rather, as the Nexus turrets will go down. The Viego gets this one. The teleport is coming out to the deny of the kill onto that turret. Looking like Kia will be taking this first game. No backs will come through, and they will take it down in 42 minutes.
Good old Elder for Nexus.
뭔가 볼게 현수이 대길이 형.
나 끝내러 갈게. 끝내러 갈게.
직관에 가자.
아지를 아까 뺐고. 아지를 살짝 볼게. 야, 집만 끊어. 집만 끊어. 집만 끊으면 끝나. 집만 끊으면 끝나. 아지를 잡았어. 아지를 잡았어. 집만 끊으면 끝나.
나를 거 때릴게.
범부 하지 마. 집만 끊으면 끝난다. 가비.
집 근처.
빨리. 끝났어.
나왔다.
나이스. 늦게 끝내줘.
그래.
근데 나 죽어. 끝내줘. 나 죽어.
나이스. 가보자.